Imagine owning an aircraft you can fly without a license, for less than a car. No license, low cost, pure freedom. These ultralight aircraft range from planes to helicopters and parachutes, making flying surprisingly accessible today. Quicksilver MX103. And this is where things start to feel real. The Quicksilver MX103 isn't some experimental toy. It's one of those names that's been around long enough to earn trust. People who've been in ultralight aviation for years? Yeah, they know this one. Quicksilver, as a brand, has built everything from simple kits to fully ready-to-fly aircraft. And the MX103 sits right in that sweet spot. It's simple, raw, and honest. No unnecessary complexity. Just a high-wing design that gives you that wide-open view of the sky, the ground, everything. You can fly it with an open cockpit, wind hitting your face, full exposure, or go for a more enclosed setup if you want a bit of comfort. That flexibility alone makes it appealing to both beginners and experienced flyers who just want that pure flying feel again. And here's the part that hooks most people. It fits within FAR Part 103 rules, which basically means no pilot license required. That alone changes everything. Now, let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets interesting. The aircraft has a gross weight of about 525 pounds, but the empty weight sits around 250. That gap? That's your usable payload. Over 250 pounds. Not bad for something this light. Under the frame, it's powered by a Hirth F23 engine pushing around 50 horsepower. Doesn't sound like much, until you realize this thing cruises at around 50 miles per hour. In the air, that feels fast. Landing? It barely needs space. Around 60 feet, and you're down. That's shorter than most roads you drive on daily. And if you're thinking long-term, there's even a 2-seat training version built on the same platform. So yeah, you can actually learn and grow into it. Honestly, if someone asked where to start with ultralights, this would probably be one of the first names that comes up. Wait, you're watching right now but not subscribed to the channel. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button so we can move on with the video. You did? Okay, cool. Now back to the video. Jordan Lake Airbike 103. But if you thought that was simple, this next one strips things down even further. The Jordan Lake Airbike 103 feels less like an aircraft and more like something you built in your garage. Because honestly, you probably will. This thing is all about minimalism. No fancy panels, no sleek enclosures, just a tubular steel frame, wooden wings, and the basics needed to get you off the ground. And weirdly enough, that's the appeal. There's something raw about it. You're not just flying it. You understand it. Every bolt, every joint, every surface. But here's the catch. It's not instant. Building one takes around 450 hours. Yeah, that's a commitment. This isn't for someone looking for a quick buy-and-fly experience. This is for builders, tinkerers, people who enjoy the process just as much as the result. Now, once it's done, it's actually pretty capable. It runs on a Hirth F33 engine producing about 28 horsepower. Again, doesn't sound huge, but for something this lightweight, it's enough. Cruising speed sits around 55 miles per hour, which is surprisingly solid. You're not crawling through the sky, you're moving. Takeoff needs about 250 feet, and landing comes in around 200 feet. So you still get that short field advantage ultralights are known for. But let's be real for a second. This isn't for everyone. If you're the type who just wants to jump in and fly, this might feel like too much work. But if you've ever built something with your own hands and felt that satisfaction, this hits differently. Because when this thing lifts off the ground, it's not just an aircraft flying, it's something you built. And that feeling? Yeah, that's hard to beat. Thunderbolt Gold 2000. And just when you think ultralights are all bare bones, this one flips the script. The Thunderbolt Gold 2000 doesn't look like your typical lightweight flyer. At first glance, it actually feels premium. Sleek lines, enclosed body, and that smooth fiberglass finish. It almost looks like a mini sports aircraft. But it's not just about looks. Underneath that clean exterior, the ride itself is noticeably smoother. The engine setup is designed to reduce the kind of vibrations you usually expect in ultralights. So instead of that constant buzzing feel, you get something a bit more controlled, a bit more refined. And here's where it gets practical. If you're building it as a kit, you're not starting from scratch chaos. It comes with essentials already sorted. A welded roll cage for safety, proper seat belts, and a full windscreen that actually makes long flights more comfortable. It feels thought out. Now, one of the smartest parts? You don't even need a hangar. This thing is trailerable. You can literally keep it in your garage, work on it there, and tow it to the airstrip when you're ready. That alone cuts down a huge chunk of cost and hassle. Weight-wise, it sits at around 550 pounds gross, with a payload capacity close to 300 pounds. So it's not just lightweight, it's usable. Performance holds up too. Takeoff is short and quick, landing doesn't demand much space, and once you're in the air, it cruises at about 63 miles per hour. Not insane speed, but enough to feel it. So yeah, this isn't just an ultralight. It's what happens when someone tries to make one feel like a real aircraft without losing the simplicity. Composite FXL helicopter. But wait, what if you don't even want a plane? The Composite FXL helicopter takes a completely different route. No wings, no runway roll, just vertical lift. And that alone changes the entire experience. This is a helicopter, a personal one. And yeah, that's where it starts to feel unreal. Instead of the usual ultralight limits, this one can actually go a bit beyond standard weight restrictions, mainly because of its design. It's built with a fiberglass airframe, giving it strength without adding unnecessary bulk. But the detail that really stands out? Floats. This thing can land on water. Imagine that for a second. You're not limited to runways or fields, lakes, calm water surfaces. Suddenly, they're part of your landing options. Performance-wise, it can reach speeds up to 70 miles per hour. For something this compact, that's seriously impressive. Now let's talk cost, because this is where reality kicks in. It sits at around $50,000, definitely higher than most ultralights. But then again, you're not buying a plane, you're buying a helicopter. And you've got options. You can either get it as a kit and build it yourself, or go for a factory-finished version if you just want to get flying sooner. But here's the real question. How many people can say they own a personal helicopter? Because this isn't just about flying anymore. It's about the experience. The kind that feels rare, almost exclusive. And honestly, that's what makes this one stand out the most. Buckeye Dragonfly, powered parachute. And just when you think you've seen every kind of aircraft, this one barely even looks like one. The Buckeye Dragonfly throws out the traditional idea of wings completely. No rigid airframe lifting you, just a parachute above your head. Yeah, a parachute. This is easily one of the simplest forms of ultralight flying out there. No complex aerodynamics to worry about, no heavy structure, just a lightweight aluminum frame sitting on tricycle or quad landing gear, with a seat and a rear-mounted engine pushing you forward. That's it. Lift comes from the parachute wing above, which inflates as you move. And once it catches air, you're off the ground. It sounds basic, and it is, but that's exactly why people love it. Takeoff distance? Extremely short. You don't need a runway, just a bit of open space. Stall speed? Practically low enough to make things feel calm, controlled, and almost slow motion compared to traditional aircraft. Under the hood, it runs a Subaru engine producing around 40 horsepower. And while the top speed sits at about 27 miles per hour, this isn't about speed. It's about the experience. Cruising low, feeling the air, seeing everything beneath you without a cockpit blocking your view. It's more like floating than flying. And then there's the price. Around $14,000 ready to fly. That's cheaper than most cars. So if you've ever thought flying was complicated or intimidating, this is probably the easiest way in. No pressure, no complexity. Just you, the sky, and a parachute doing its job. Aeromarine Merlin Lite.
Wingspan. So here you have the motor glider wing, which is way longer than the ultralight wing. And it looks like it's Part 103 compliant.
Now here's where things take a sharp turn, because this doesn't feel like an ultralight anymore. The Aeromarine Merlin Lite is what happens when someone decides to pack as much as possible into a lightweight frame and somehow still keep it within ultralight territory. First thing you notice? Space. The cockpit is surprisingly roomy, built to accommodate even taller pilots without that cramped, knees-in-your-chest feeling. It actually feels comfortable, like you could stay up there for a while. Then your eyes hit the panel. And yeah, this is where it gets serious. You're looking at a full setup: GPS, artificial horizon, altimeter, compass, and more. These are the kind of instruments you expect in fully registered aircraft, not something in this category. And it doesn't stop there. The cabin is fully enclosed, with 7 windows and a proper door. Visibility is wide, almost panoramic, but you're still protected from the wind. It's a completely different experience compared to open ultralights. You've also got options. You can run it with tricycle gear for easier handling, or switch to a tail dragger setup if that's more your style. Safety hasn't been ignored either. It includes a BRS parachute system, basically a full aircraft rescue system, and hydraulic brakes that give you better control on the ground. And then there's practicality. There's actual cargo space. You can throw in camping gear, supplies, turn it into something more than just a short flight machine. Price comes in around $35,000, and the cruising speed sits near 27 miles per hour. But honestly, none of those numbers is the main story here, because the real difference is how it feels. This doesn't feel like a stripped-down ultralight. It feels like a real aircraft, just lighter, simpler, and way more accessible. And that shift? That's what makes it stand out. Aerolite 103.
Therefore, there's no age requirement, so anybody can fly one.
The crew is Aerolite 103 from Virginia to Oshkosh this year, which was a 750-mile trip with 32 stops.
It's great. I've been fortunate. I've been able to fly lots and lots of different different airplanes over the years. But I always tell people, if I get 45 minutes to go out and fly for fun, I'll walk past everything else and get in an ultralight and go fly that.
And just when you think ultralights are all about compromise, this one quietly proves they don't have to be. The Aerolite 103 hits that balance between simplicity and personalization in a way most others don't. You can get it factory built and ready to fly, or go the quick build route, which, surprisingly, can be done in under 50 hours. Yeah, under 50. That's fast in this world. Now here's where it gets fun. You're not stuck with a single version. You can actually customize it. Colors, engine choice, and even digital instruments if you want to modernize the experience a bit. It starts to feel less like buying an aircraft, and more like building your own. Design-wise, it sticks to a high-wing layout with a tubular frame, keeping things lightweight and efficient. But once you're inside, that clear windscreen and framing give it an almost enclosed cockpit feel. Not fully sealed, but enough to make it comfortable. Performance holds up too. Takeoff distance comes in at under 200 feet, which means you don't need much space to get airborne. Once you're up, it cruises around 45 miles per hour. Steady, controlled, and honestly, just enough to enjoy the ride without rushing it. And payload? Over 300 pounds. That's solid for something this light. Price sits around $30,000 fully loaded, which, considering the customization and flexibility, feels like a fair trade. So if you're someone who wants control over what you're flying, not just how you fly, this one starts to make a lot of sense. CGS Hawk. And finally, this one comes with history behind it. The CGS Hawk isn't new, flashy, or trying to reinvent anything. It's been around since 1982, and in aviation, that kind of longevity means something. This aircraft has picked up multiple design awards from the Experimental Aircraft Association over the years. Not because it's flashy, but because it works. It's a classic high-wing monoplane with fabric-covered wings and a composite fuselage. Simple materials, proven structure. Nothing overcomplicated. And that's kind of the point. If you're building one yourself, it takes around 200 hours, which is actually manageable, even for someone new to this space. It's designed to be beginner-friendly without feeling basic. Underneath, it runs a Rotax 447 engine pushing about 40 horsepower. Reliable, well-known, and tested over time. But here's the part that stands out. It cruises at around 75 miles per hour. That makes it the fastest aircraft on this list. So while others focus on simplicity or cost, this one quietly delivers performance too. And with a payload capacity over 300 pounds, it's not sacrificing usability either. But more than anything, it's proven. This isn't an experiment. It's not a trend. It's something that's been flown, tested, and trusted for decades. And sometimes, that matters more than anything else. From simple parachutes to full aircraft, and even a personal helicopter, ultralight flying opens a door most people didn't think was possible. It's cheaper, simpler, and way more accessible than traditional aviation. But here's the real question. Which one would you fly first? Let me know, and don't forget to subscribe for more.